Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women, a space for women ready to heal from within and reclaim what's always been theirs, your truth, your tenderness, and your power. I'm Autumn, a trauma-informed therapist, yoga instructor, and your guide. Here we'll explore the healing journey through real talk, embodied practices, soulful reflections, and the kind of honesty that sets you free. My goal is to guide you home to your heart, your voice, and your power, one episode at a time. Let's begin. I'm so glad you're here today. Today we're exploring what it really means to find your voice after trauma. Whether your voice was silenced, dismissed, or never really welcome, this episode is for you. We're not rushing it, we're not fixing it, we're just noticing and inviting truth back in. If you've ever swallowed your truth, kept quiet to keep the peace, or lost touch with what you even need, this is for you. There was a time when I felt completely disconnected from my voice. Not just my ability to speak up, but from even knowing what I wanted, what I needed, and what I believed. Childhood taught me to be silent in so many ways. I was taught that speaking up wasn't safe. It led to consequences, rejection, or shame. And as an adult, that conditioning followed me into relationships, work, and even the way I treated myself. It wasn't until years later, many years later, after years of therapy, reflection, and body work, that I realized my silence wasn't a weakness. It was a survival. And when I began honoring that, my voice didn't come back all at once. It returned gently, in whispers, in journal entries, in tears, in saying no without explanation, in telling myself the truth in a room by myself. Trauma teaches us to hide, to shrink, to go quiet, to avoid being too much. Whether it was emotional abuse, relational neglect, or even cultural silencing, your nervous system learned that being fully seen might not be safe. And sometimes we lose touch with our own needs, wants, and truth because we've been in survival mode for so long. But here's the thing. Your voice never disappeared. It's just been waiting for safety to return. Trauma conditions us to be small. It rewires our nervous system to believe that staying silent equals staying safe. Voice in this context isn't just sound. It's knowing your needs, feeling your feelings, and honoring your truth. It's in the moment you set a boundary. It's in the breath you take instead of apologizing. It's in the decision you choose yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. And if it feels hard, that doesn't mean you're failing. It means your nervous system is still learning, still healing, while still learning that it's safe now to be seen. It's going to take some time. Don't give up just because it feels funky or it doesn't feel perfect. It doesn't always mean speaking louder. Sometimes it's setting a boundary, saying no, asking for what you need, or simply telling yourself the truth. It means honoring the full spectrum of who you are. Messy, tender, bold, and wise. It means coming home to your nervous system and learning to speak from a place of truth, not fear. I've talked about boundaries a couple of times already, and I want to just take a moment here to just really hone in on boundaries. Where to begin? What is it all about? Where to start? It's a good buzzword, but I think I'm having boundaries. I don't know. People walk all over my boundaries. I must not be doing it right. So first and foremost, before we set any external boundaries, let's start with self-awareness. I want you to ask yourself, what drains me? Think about what takes away your energy, what takes away your power, what makes you feel just icky or gross or uncomfortable. And then what nourishes you? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel content? What makes you feel alive? During setting boundaries, you can tell yourself quite a few things, but it's okay for me to have needs, even if no one else validates them. You don't need external validation. You are the professional in your life. Have self-validation. We'll get into later, but validating the shit out of yourself is key. Also, learn to pause before saying yes. Have yourself some sort of script or answer you're going to have in place when someone asks you something on the spot and you're not ready to answer. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Create a 24-hour buffer. It buys time and it helps you regulate before responding from a fawning or freezing standpoint. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. So your practice for this one is to delay response, breathe, then choose. And then as you're working with personal boundaries, think about micro boundaries, small steps, ways you can start saying no in tiny shifts. Turning off your read receipts, logging off at a set time, not answering text messages after certain hours, silencing a group chat. These small steps help build capacity within your nervous system. Small glimmers, if you will, of safety, of that making change and doing the right thing will not result in the world exploding on you. Baby steps into safety. Use gentle, clear language. I'm going to name a few affirmations you can say to yourself. Pick one that resonates within you and try it out if you're in a safe space with a safe person. I'm not available for that right now. That doesn't work for me. I need a little space to think this through. I appreciate the invite, but I'm going to pass. So not necessarily affirmations, but ways to respond without saying no or yes automatically. And when you're making boundaries with yourself, with others, you might feel a little guilty. You might feel like I'm the bad guy. I feel like a bad person. No one's going to like me because I have to have all these rules now. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about protecting your peace. These rules that you put in place for yourself or saying yes or no as it aligns to you is not about controlling others. It's about protecting your peace. Discomfort doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. You're just not used to prioritizing yourself yet. This is the beginning. A healing way to reframe the thought of being guilty or the bad guy. I'm not being rude, I'm being real. And I said this momentarily a few minutes ago, but I'll say it again. Practice with safe people. Practice in the mirror. Practice with a friend. Practice with your therapist, life coach, a coworker, someone that's safe. And also practice in front of the mirror. Do some mirror work. Look in your eyes and really see you and talk to you and give yourself a boundary if you need to. No more shopping today. You are a beautiful being. You are doing lovely. Talking better to yourself is a new boundary. Look at the ways you can create boundaries for yourself that make you feel more safe within. Now, here's some affirmations that I think could be helpful. They're really affirmations. My needs matter. I'm allowed to take up space. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks I choose to open. While you're trying to find your voice, there are several ways you can connect. Gently, on your own terms, meeting yourself where you are. And I encourage you to try some coping skills with a new perspective if they haven't worked out for you before. I'm not saying your experience is invalid. I'm just encouraging you to try if you had different expectations or walked into it with certain expectations, such as journaling and meditating. Well, I can't meditate. My mind won't go blank. Girl, no one's mind's going to go blank. Like, sit there. Just sit. No input. Just try to set an alarm and just sit. No input. You don't have to have any other expectation. Along with journaling. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to look pretty. Doesn't have to make sense. Just do it without judgment. So, first off, I will recommend journaling without judgment. Say what needs to be said. Get it outside of your body. Get it outside of your head. Relieve some of the pressure. And when I say journaling, you don't necessarily need a prompt other than I want to get out my thoughts onto paper. Fuck this, fuck that. I can't believe this happened. Did you see that? They honked at me. My shoe's too tight. My clothes are too tight. Like, get it out. You don't have to solve the problem. You don't have to make a plan. It's just about relieving the pressure inside the brain. Secondly, you can leave yourself voice notes, essentially saying kind, encouraging, and supportive things to yourself. Imagine if a little kid came up to you and was like, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm no good, I don't deserve to take up space. Would you be like, yeah, kid, you're right, you suck, just keep on going? No, you wouldn't. You would get down with that little kid, you would tell them how amazing they are and support them in whatever way they needed. And I want you to apply that same love and compassion and tenderness to yourself. Talk to yourself like you're a delicate little toddler. And thirdly, saying your truth out loud to yourself, even just in your room. This can look like taking a seat or standing tall, whatever feels good to you. Maybe placing a hand or two on your heart, taking a nice deep breath, and repeating an affirmation to yourself. I'm going to share one I picked up on the socials just recently that I think is just fantastic. I don't know who to credit it to, but whoever you are, this is a beautiful 4-line affirmation. So thank you for your wisdom. But here it goes. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good will come. I am safe. I'll say it again. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good will come. I am safe. Your voice is sacred. It deserves to be heard, but by you first. So I'd like to give you a bit of a prompt to carry you through your day or your week. We're going to take a moment and take a few deep breaths, settling into this. So wherever you are, take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Let that belly rise high and slowly let that exhale out. Inhale deeply, belly rising. Exhale deeply. One more time. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Now I'd like you to ask yourself, be gentle, be compassionate, but what part of me has been quiet for too long? Just notice what comes up. Maybe it's a memory, maybe it's a feeling, or maybe it's just silence, and that's okay. But just ponder this thought throughout the day or throughout the next week. What part of me has been quiet for too long? Where are you suffering where you no longer need to suffer? Where are you putting pressures on yourself to people please, to be perfect, to be something to someone, to be all to all? What part of me has been quiet for too long? If my voice could speak freely right now, what would it say to me? If my voice could speak freely right now, what would it say to me? I invite you to take some time to answer this question. Let it come out in whatever way it wants, no judgment. Your voice is not something to find, it's something to remember. It's been with you all along. Thank you for being here. If this episode opens something for you, I'd love to hear about it. You can find more goodies on my link tree in the show notes. And if this resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone who's learning to find their voice too. Until next time, may you listen inward, speak kindly to yourself, and let your voice rise at its own pace. I'll see you soon.